This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, so today SQL Server views concept is there. Views concept is only pending, that is required. So would you like to demonstrate that one as well, or no need of it? I also give brief. SQL views. View is a virtual table. In fact, view is a virtual table that has been created on top of a table. On top of a table with selected few or all columns of it. And again, we are having view types and followed by DML operations on views. What is the impact of it? So this concept is there, followed by data manipulation, deletion, and DDL operations on views. So it should come about DML shift alt. And here view types, simple views. So this is first simple view. Next one would be complex views. Third one would be materialized views. So these three view types we are having in SQL. And first one, simple views. These are being created using simple select statement. Simple select statement on top of a table. That is here it contains only a select statement with where clause or order by clause, but not any typical complex queries being involved. So that's why here this is a simple view, and here these are being created using complex select statement, like joining data from multiple tables would be fetched, and with the data they used to create these complex views. So this is what the meaning of here complex views, like joining or group by. These are the complex view types how they used to create. And here, as we discussed, is logical component, but unlike here materialized views, these views are differ from traditional views. So what is the meaning of here traditional views? This one. Traditional views store data. Sorry, doesn't store data. Whereas materialized views store data physically. Unlike traditional views. This is the fundamental difference and important point we have to keep in mind with respect to materialized views. Again here, this could be type Again, we are having two view types, a simple view and a complex view. And it could be created from, it could be a simple view or a complex view having this kind of select statements involved. So this is another aspect of it. And because it is a physical view, what can be applicable on top of this materialized view? We have to understand that. So here DDL operations, I mean DML operations can be applied. Yes, we can also apply DML operations. And indexes can be applied, can be applied to expedite the searching process, similar to our table indexes. How can we? Because this materialized view is storing, uh, you know, data physically. Another important aspect would be all these, I mean, all SQL database engines doesn't support or not being supported. This flavor. First one would be what among Oracle and Postgres. These two are supporting, except that nothing. Remaining SQL Server, MySQL, they don't. So this is the difference here we have to note with respect to simple views or followed by complex views and materialized views. Differences these are. And DML operations can be applied on these simple views as well. So that the underlying table would be applied. What happens? So here, what kind of DDL? Let us first talk. Creation of view. Create view statement we can use to create this one. And next DDL would be, dropping of a view. This is another DDL we can use. Next one would be another DDL alter, which we could not use, not being allowed. Next one would be DML operations. So inserting new rows. Is it? No, it won't allow. Next one would be reason behind is, the select statement, what it has. Sorry, insert allowed, deletes also allowed. Delete, what happens? Deletes the underlying data, deletes the underlying table data because it is a virtual window that has been created on top of a table. Whatever operation you do with respect to DML, that is insert updates, will simply reflects on top of the underlying table. Impacts on underlying table. This is what here. Update also same. Impacts on underlying table. So this is what all about views concept and types of views we are having. In fact, these are both one and the same based on the underlying SQL query we used to write for, this is simple view creation. We have classified this into simple views and complex views. And when you have applied these DML operations on the complex views, we could not be allowed. I mean, these complex operations are not being supported by DML operations. Yeah, DML operations are not being supported because multiple tables involved and we are not having intelligence to which field belongs to which table and all. You have joined three tables, then how this will happen? So let us see all this in practical. Employees table we are having in this employee number, birth date, hire date. Okay. So let us switch to test underscore DB. Then create view followed by employees underscore view. Just I suffixed underscore view for our easy identification purpose. As a select, let us say here employee number, comma first name, comma last name, gender. Only these from employees database employees table. So the first one before the dot is name of the schema. This table belongs to. It seems this query has been executed, 0 rows affected, view has been created. So now view creation statement. Next one here what? Select data from view. This is the next one here. That is a select star from the same way, or else the required columns. The querying clause or the query process remains same with respect to either a view or a table. You want to view only, you know, male details, male employee details, then this is the one. Shift home, control shift enter. See all employees. So that this select query remains the same with respect to views as well. If you want to group, you can absolutely allow to group. So this if remains the same. Group by gender, and the same principle applicable here as well. Give me a second, guys. Group by gender. So in such a case, only gender column is being allowed as part of this one. Gender comma count of star or gender we can use this one. Male employees are these many, and this one is, let us say, where gender equal to if female employees count only you want to view, then in such a case, sorry, where clause is allowed, no having. This is how you can play around with this simple view. So this time, simple view creation, right? This is a simple view creation statement, and I would like to create a complex view creation statement. So to do so, I mean to create a view of type complex, what are the conditions? So we should have a complex select statement. This is what the meaning of complex views. In fact, we categorized for our discrimination purpose. Yeah, DML operations on, let us say DML operations on simple views. We haven't discussed this point. This one here. Yeah, this is the one. Mm, update employees underscore views, right? Then employees underscore views, view, yeah. Then set the view is created under views tab dedicated for this one. Use test DB. So refresh database refresh is required because we just created view employees underscore view. Let us say here gender. Select blah blah. Then here this is the one. Okay. Select star from employees underscore view. Okay, Georgie, and update. So gender field of this employee number 10001 I would like to update. Yeah. Then group by on. view similar to a table. Then next one, what we have done here, run this one to avoid this one. Yes, full screen mode. Then gender count employees view. Okay, group by applied. Okay, then DML operations on simple views. So set gender field to F from M, where employee number equal to sorry, numeric value, right, 10001. Then say this one, run this, control shift enter. Only one row updated. Update statement executed, one row affected, rows matched one, changed one. So no warnings. With the employee ID provided 10001, one record matched with the provided condition employee number 10001. The same has been updated. That is the meaning of it. And let us quickly go and rerun this statement. See this one, 10001. Earlier whose gender was male, now it has been changed to. Yeah, so let us cross verify under this main table. U is giving the expected results. So because we have done the operation, update operation on the view, as I said, whenever we do an operation on view, it really impacts on the underlying table. So this is what the statement I have used. This contains only select statement, and these are being created using simple select statement. When we have done these DML operations, insert or update, impacts on the underlying table. So what is underlying table here? Employees of employees, right? Then let us query this one and have a look at it. This is employees database and it is having employees table here. So another tab, see this one, 10001 is name of the employee and gender has been updated to F from M. So now I reset it back to gender, male gender, because this is the original value we are having, right? Then where this one update statement we have to modify. Let us see. So as of now, we are having female for the employee 10001. Need more attention. Then it will update. Update statement, one row affected. Very good. Then control shift enter. We have got the data. 10001 is set back to M. So we queried the view. Let us cross verify underlying table. See this one, gender is now updated to M. So like this, you can, whatever operation you use to perform, it really impacts on the underlying view, and you should always be cautious when you are performing DML operations on top of views. So this is the recommended strategy. Yeah. Now complex views creation. So as part of this complex view, I would like to take leverage of employees table and titles table. So here I would like to find out employee designation, title of the employee in our organization. So here let us say create view. So no need to use complex keyword. In fact, there is no such complex keyword in SQL to create complex views. We just need to write multiple, tables, data definitions for bringing into this view statement. That is join condition, or else if you want to split the rows, then grouping. These are complex queries. Create view, then say here employees, employee titles as keyword underscore view for our identification. Select emp dot emp underscore invoke comma emp dot first name, right, first underscore name, not all the columns, emp dot last name comma emp dot gender. These four fields, information from employees table, and TIT is alias for the titles table. And here we need title of employee, that is title column is holding the employee designation, engineer, senior engineer, junior engineer, like this information. So here what we have to write, we have to write join condition to pull data from these two tables, from employees as alias EMP. So here as keyword is optional, guys. For more readability, I'm using. And what we have to do, we have to perform join. What is the second table? That is titles. Next one would be what? As alias. What alias would you like to give? TIT, which is already been provided on TIT. Next one would be what? Joining condition we have to specify. On based on what column? What is the common column among employee number is the common column among these two tables, followed by TIT dot EMP underscore NBO. So the titles is also having employee number. Let me expand this one. Columns employee. Employees table is also having column employee. So this is complex view. Let us see. TestDB doesn't all right. Thank you so much. So here I should prefix my table names with the name of the schema I would like to take leverage. No, wait, come on. So here titles, right? Yeah. Into next line. Yes. Okay. Right now we are in this database TestDB. See this one. This is highlighted here in bold black TestDB. So that's why database engine has tried to look for the tables, employees, and the titles in this selected database. But we don't have. These are inherited from. Originally belongs to employees database. These two are originated from there. Zero rows affected. A view has been created. Let us see employees titles. Query this one. We have got 1000 rows written here. Yeah, let us try to perform. Run this one. Hide this input window. Yeah, so querying of complex. We have seen employees titles and all. Then next operations would be DDL, right? Then dropping off a view, that is fine. Alteration is not at all allowed. Underlying table impact. Next one would be DML operations. Mhm. Okay, just want to view, right? Then employee 10001. Let us update here senior engineer title, employee title to some other title. Update. What table we would like to set here, that is employee titles view. Here we are referring to this one. Okay, set keyword. What column? Title column we want to set to what? What happened? Let us see. Running. This is running. Okay, it is updating all the titles. Let us see. It seems it is running in such a way. But as far as I studied, updates throw error. Okay, it is going to impact all employees table. Original table. Yeah, lost connection. Let us query this data, then get to know. Senior engineer staff 10001. Okay. Control home. Then hide this output window. Result grid. Then let us say here where class missed, right? Then where emp underscore NO equal to 10001. Shift and control. Shift enter. If this is not working here, we have to switch back to command line client. So meantime, people, let me open this one as well. Root is the password. TestDB in which we have created this complex view. Use test underscore DB. Last connection, right? Then let us say here show tables. Then we get to know. Yes, employees titles view is there. Let me copy this one. Many times required to copy. Whereas materialized view is a physical view. It is to run like this. So it is not possible for complex views updation. So that is what meaning it. Still we are here. This one session got hanged. Lock wait time exceeded. Try restarting transaction. It failed to update because complex views are involved in multiple or complex logic involved. You may write subqueries, multiple select statement like that. Yeah, okay, so let it materialize reviews. Let me pull down this information. PPT presentation I have prepared. The same concepts. Materialized views. They are pre-compiled or computed results. In fact, pre-computed result set of queries stored like a table. It differs from normal view in these aspects. Stores data physically, not it's a logical view. It's a physical view. It stores data. It improves performance for complex joins and aggregations. So when we are having such kind of requirement for table creation, sorry, for view creation, similar to our employees and titles, then it is recommended to go for this kind of materialize or material views. So it requires manual or scheduled refresh to keep data in sync with base tables. So whatever updates you do here, those updates get impacted on the materialized view, but not into the underlying tables. So if we refresh, then those underlying tables get impacted, and Oracle and PostgreSDB are supporting these kind of views, but not all database engines. And features wise, physical data storage wise, yes, auto updated on data change. Simple view has how it has immediately impacted the change that has been occurred for employee number 10001 with respect to the gender field, male to female. So this impact is not being matter for this materialized view. It won't impact immediately. We have to manually refresh this materialized view to get these changes done for this materialized view impact. Can be indexed, yes, but logical, I mean, the simple views are cannot be indexed. Query performance very fast because it has stored the data and it has pre-computed data, right? It has pre-computed data from the select query being utilized for creation of this materialized view and has physically stored. So in such a case, it won't again recompute the SQL query which we have used for materialized view creation. So this is another advantage of materialized view and syntax support that is similar to your native view. Creating a materialized view. So this is what how we can create a table with data or without data. That is only the schema if required. The same principle applicable here as well. The table creation principle. refreshing of materialized view. So this refresh is why this refresh is required, because of the changes what we are making to our materialized view are not being impacted into underlying tables. So that is the reason why. So here this is the command for refreshing your materialized view. So this is all about materialized views. So let us know DML operations complex query materialized view, create them. So every time this is bigger problem. Then result grid hiding. So how we have used here or created this create view statement, right? Using this create view. Similarly here, for creation of materialized views, we have to use this extra or additional keyword, materialized keyword we have to use. View with the name already existed is that they are okay. Anyway, employees M view, that stands for materialized view. Title case, okay. Then the same standard syntax what we have used here for the remaining one, except that nothing great here. Then only those 4 columns, let us say. Control and control A, then view, okay. Any is not a valid in at this position. Any semicolon missed above, every ended with a semicolon, every SQL statement. Then material spelling, material, IZADD, correct. Then let us run this from the command prompt. Select database. We are in test database at present. Oops, though I copied it is not pasting. Have another check the manual that correspond is near materialized view. Then create materialized view, the same statement, guys. AIS as keyword got missed. So that is the problem. Control enter. Okay. Okay, let me take help with respect to syntax. Why it is? Anyone of you guess? I already explained and I confused. So by mistake I used this Oracle, sorry, MySQL engine. So database engines who support Postgres and Oracle only, right? Then here PG admin. So that is why it is failing. I mean, MySQL engine is here failing to identify materialized view types because MySQL doesn't support, though we have written the right statement here. That is what I am thinking. Then just now this point striked. Syntactically, even Google also given the same result, same syntax. I'm opening PC admin tool here for PostgreSDB connectivity. Demonstrate this practically. So meantime, let me take your questions. If you're having any questions, unmute and ask.
Eh, so I got a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
So why do we need views exactly? Because if you have already tables and
Table,
data
underlying
entry,
table. Yeah.
uh,
So
but it
in
reflects the
real
changes
time,
in real time also. So why do we
yes.
need exactly?
Yeah. So sometimes we don't give, for example, here, sensitive information is there for employees. Birth date and hire date, these two columns, assume. So birth date of an employee, if anyone knows, so they can crack. It is definitely it leads to security breach. If I know your birth date, I know your first name and surname, I can make a call to any bank and say my card has been blocked. So or my internet banking was not working or blocked. I can block. I can do these uh, illegal activities. So that is why we could not intentionally I have not taken those fields into consideration while I was creating a view. So in such a case, when we don't want to provide access to some sensitive fields information, recommended to create a logical table, but updates are being permittable. So that is also a business requirement. Then when we are having these kind of use cases, then recommended to go ahead with a view. I mean, as a developer, we do feel that only these four fields existed in this table. Even they won't suffix with the underscore, view, as I said. Only when you describe, you get to know number of columns contained in. But of course, nowadays, database engines are giving clear discrimination whether it is a table or a view. And even in Databricks also, we can be able to view it. Describe extended followed by view or table name you can use to get to know whether the underlying object is a table or a view. So PC admin tool is still loading, guys. It is. Last night I uninstalled and installed a new version of Postgres database. Anyway, so once this tool opens, I come back almost there. How long? Okay. Fatal error. Server could not be contacted. Okay. Installation is not done properly, it seems. MySQL, sorry, PC admin tool. Yeah. Let me relaunch it. Otherwise, I demonstrate tomorrow if required.
This conference will now be recorded.
Yeah, Python history and all that theoretical stuff I am not going to. Yeah. So history I am not going to cover, and here direct concept of data types followed by control flow statements we are having, followed by operators, various operators being involved in Python language and purpose of them. So how we had different operators in SQL language, logical operators, other operators, conditional operators. So like this, Similar to them here also in Python, we are having operators. So that is the next concept. So firstly, we have to understand while we get start with when we get start with any programming language, what are different data types being supported? Not only data, I mean programming language, SQL also. That is fundamental point we have to keep in mind, so that we can take leverage of these data types for representing the values we used to store in that programming language or a database language. So variables or variables used to store data in memory. Python is dynamically typed, so that is we no need to declare a variable type upfront before we store any value into that. So that is what the meaning of this statement here stands for. Xmind Python data types. In traditional programming languages like C language or C++, we have to declare a variable like this. First, we have to define the data type of the variable itself. Int age equal to 30, like this. Similar case with Java or C++. Traditional programming way of is equal to 30. But in Python, as we read the statement, it is dynamically typed language. So what does it mean? But here both these C language and Java both are statically typed languages. Traditional languages are statically typed languages. So that means upfront before we use, before we store a value, we should declare its type, because in variables only, right, we used to store the data, and respect to type should be declared upfront before we store value into that. But here dynamically typed. And what does it mean? So interpretation time, at interpretation time, your variables types are being identified and assigned respect to types. That's all. So that is what dynamic language. Closing this one. Yeah. So next PowerPoint presentation. So best example is that just assign using equal operator. That is nothing but your assignment operator. That is Python operators concept again. Just name of the variable assignment operator, that is equal symbol and value you would like to be. So Python automatically identifies X type dynamically and declares its type, which is int type. So this is dynamic type nature. And variable naming conventions we have to follow this. So what are various naming conventions we should follow for various components of your Python language? So your variable must starts with either a letter or an underscore symbol. So this is the prerequisites. It should not start with letters. Sorry, it should not start with digits. So there is a quiz coming once after this PPT presentation has been done. There you will encounter questions asking, what is right and what is not and why. So I will explain that one as well, so that we get to know, or we can simply recap the topics what we have learned from those questions, followed by what are different advantages of you know respective concept. So here a variable can contain letters, digits, and special character underscore is being allowed, except that no other special character is being allowed. Unlike SQL language, we are done or finished with few minutes ago. Here variables are case sensitive, whereas a SQL language is not case sensitive. But here variables what you declared are case sensitive definitely. Here, my capital V A R here. Whereas if you declare capital V as small v, then both will be treated as two different variables instead of treating them as single variable. So that is what here case sensitivity matter. Whatever the case you use for declaration of your variable or any other artifacts of Python language, they will be treated uniquely or differently. Cannot use reserved words. So similarly, how we are having reserved words for SQL language or keywords for SQL language, like create is one among, table is one among, like view is one among, select is one among, like this. Python language is also having some built-in or reserved words which we should not use for our variable names. Examples are here: class, for creating a class; def, that stands for define, which is usually used for creating functions, user defined functions in Python programming language. Followed by naming conventions in Python. So we should strictly adhere to these naming conventions because these are being followed in the industry. The first one, snake case for variables and functions. So when you declare a variable involved in multiple words, how we were having uh, you know first name column as part of our MySQL's employees table, right? We can directly declare first name, first underscore name instead of, but it is going to give you more readability. So that is what here the snake case stands for. And camel case for class names. So when we are having a class name like this, let us say order details we are representing, class name. For example, we would like to represent order details using class. So how can we declare a class using reserved word, which is all these reserved words or keywords are in small case only. They are not in caps. If you declare them, then they will be treated as variable names. So here class names, what is this camel case here, right? Yeah, camel case. If you like this, the same here, order details is name of our class name we would like to represent. Then in such a case, it involved in couple of words, and every word's first alphabet should be in caps, that is order. And details is another word which we are again using as a single word for your class name, and details is having another word, and D should be in caps. So this is our classes naming convention, that nothing but your camel case people used to call title case. These two names are there. So that is what here. Uppercase for constants. Constants, what are constants here? A constant is a fixed value whose name will not change. In traditional programming languages, if you are from C language or C++ language, they are represented with macros concept. Macros concept, that is constants. In Java, we are having these constants, STANTS, so which are declared in Java using final keyword. Similarly, here you can declare constants in capital letters. Let us say here, what is the best example? Century. Always 100. It won't change. But in Java, how we have to declare this? Final keyword, int type, because it is numeric of 100. It won't have any fraction digits after dot or decimal point. Int century equal to 100. This much required. But here just need to say century equal to 100. Based on the case, you have declared, Python treats that as a constant. That is what. Use meaningful naming conventions. Example, student underscore age, total underscore price, like this. When two words are being involved for a variable, better to isolate those two words using underscore. Python specific naming conventions being used. So what are built-in data types? Your integer is a data type, float to represent 3.14. Here 14 after the decimal point or sorry, precision values, and this is 3 is a scale value. 3 is a scale, and sometimes we used to address with 14 as precision and scale values. This is also. These are built-in data types we are having. Of course, whatever we are having here, they are all built-in classes itself, and these are objects being created for a respective class type. Integer class is there, and int is an object, because Python is object oriented language. That is why here everything is object. Str string, you just need to example here, str equal to hello, and str is also a string, and bool is also a sorry, an object. Str is an object. Bool is also an object that stores boolean values like true or false when we want to store such kind of thing. So for example, we are evaluating a condition, and we do get chance for two values, whether the condition might become true or false value. And based on these outcomes of that respective condition, for example, employee age should greater than 50 to denote a respective employee of type senior citizen. Then in such a case, if age emp underscore age greater than 50, that condition we have to write boolean. If emp underscore age greater than 50, so there might be chance of employee having more age more than 50, let us say 51, and sometimes we might encounter 30 employees, young people also, right? So this is control enter, proving of this condition, and this is false wing of condition, right? So here this expression, chances for this expression are true condition or false condition. So based on this one, it will definitely return either true or false. Based on that, if you want to evaluate people, then in such a case you can go for this list tuple set dictionary, and these are different dictionaries we are having, sorry, data structures we are having in Python language. Of course, these are also built-in data types. Whatever here you use, they are objects in Python language, a new generation language that is object oriented as well as functional programming language. Python is not only an object oriented, unlike traditional language Java when it was launched or introduced later on. Java also has got functional programming language features. So when time comes, I will explain what are object oriented features as well as functional features. Okay, so these are different data types, and what are the topics we have covered as part of this introduction to Python. We have seen about uh, you know variables concept. What are Python variables? Yeah, so what are naming conventions we have to follow for naming a variable, that is based on the variable type we have to follow a different naming convention, and you no need to mug up all these right now itself. When you keep on practicing, you will slowly habituate to these naming conventions, but keep in mind all these. Next one would be naming conventions in Python for various artifacts, and next one would be variable data types. Yeah, variable data types being used for declaring. So these are different topics for variables. So any questions here? This is simple quiz on Python on the topic what we just covered. Select response preview. Yeah, how it looks like. Yes, this is the one. Which of the following is a valid Python variable name? You guys have to unmute and explain.
We got two names in the for the first question. C and D.
Okay, why not the first two? Because first
Uh,
option, variable name has been started with digit, which is against the principle of Python language. You should declare variable in Python. If you want to declare, it should get started with either alphabet or an underscore special character. Second option is at the rate special character. That's why it is against the principle. Second question, variable names in Python are case sensitive.
True.
Yeah, which of the following is not allowed in Python variable names? Third question.
First one. These at the start.
Yes. So the first question has been asked in a different way, twisted way. So what is the type of a variable below? Is underscore Python underscore easy. True. We just discussed here.
It's simple Boolean.
Yes. Python variables must be declared with a type like traditional programming language. In brackets, they have given example like
Yeah.
int x equal to
It's
10.
false.
Which of the which line of the code will cause an error? Among these four options, what is invalid option? The
So
second option, because
obviously
variable
it's the second
name
option.
has been started with digit, which is against the principle of declaring a variable in Python. How do you check the type of a variable in Python? So this is not covered in fact. So we are having an operator called type operator, which will be used for identifying a variable type, whether it is an integer variable or a float variable or even an object declared for a class, including your classes as well, user defined classes as well. You have declared a class with the name student to represent student properties like student id, student name, followed by age and the course what he is been doing. So to identify, you have declared a variable for your class that is become an object. When you declare a variable to your class, it would be treated as an object and student type would be written in such a case. I will explain all these things practically. So type is the operator which is not covered. Yeah, next one. What will be the output of the code below?
I think it might throw an error.
Eighth question.
Yes.
20.
You are right. Because we have type conversion has been done here. Explicit type conversion. Thank you. Good concept. Typecasting. Here again, this is okay. Brief on this typecasting, what it is. Yeah, and all. Then converting data type of a variable from one compatible, very important word here, one compatible type to another type is nothing but typecasting. Here, implicit typecasting, CIT, implicit casting and explicit casting. And from this question, we got to know that we have added with, yeah, let me switch to explain here. Implicit typecasting from the same example, let me explain. So we have declared a variable with the name x equal to 10 and we have used a print statement. Forget about this, what it is intended for if you are new to this one. Just to, okay, let me give brief again here on this one. Use it to print output to the console, to the standard output device. So here that is nothing but console. In Windows, and it is known as terminal in Linux operating system. It is similar to your printf function of C language or out variable of Java. That's all. No need to emphasize more on this one. So here, someone has come. Please bear with me. Mute off then. Implicit conversion. Great to go. Related data types. That is, this concept comes under x equal to 10. Then we do have another variable like, let us say, y equal to 10.5. Then when we say print of x plus y, yeah, so let me pull Python IDE, Python online compiler, then program is, yes, this is the best one. Guys, don't get worried. I will introduce what are all these as part of next session, in fact. Yeah, print function is for printing on console, right? As we said. So here itself, it is your output console. We have incorporated all this stuff into web-based service. Remove this one. X equal to 10. Next, y equal to 10.5 we have declared, then print x plus y. Let us see what will happen. Run this one. Which is what type? Here, line based, the comments. Just see above 1, 2, line number 1, 2. Those are comment lines. So to declare a comment, you have to use hash symbol similar to your SQL. How you have declared SQL? Maximize, zoom it, yes. Okay, so single line comments you have declared using double hyphens in SQL. Similarly here, hash for you. This is an integer variable. Whereas here, what? A float variable. Of course, it is not a double variable by default, double variable. Yeah, but when we have calculated this operation called plus operation, that is addition operation, we have done. Addition operation. See, we have applied this addition operation on two different typed variables. One is integer, another one would be, double type. So why this hasn't thrown a compile time error? So this is called a concept called implicit type conversion. Implicit type conversion concept. So let me explain explicit typecasting print. Okay. So here there is a classification of alt above array. Yeah. Related data types. Concept called related data types. And here integer and double data types comes under numeric data types. Numeric data types. When we are having these kind of numeric data types, which are x comes under numeric data type as well as y also. This is called auto promotion or implicit type conversion. So Python takes that decision here itself on behalf of us. Numeric data types, and these are related data types. Yeah, related. So when we have applied this operation, that is addition operation on these related data types, Python itself takes a decision on behalf of us, related data types. See, when we have applied this kind of operation on two different related data types, Python automatically takes decision of converting these data types, these two different, let me use those two words, two different types to a unique type. So this process, Control Shift B, is known as implicit type conversion. Implicit type conversion. So among these two categories, which is integer type, next one would be float or decimal. So another question came to Python mind is that among these two data types, which one should be promoted? That means which one should be converted to which type? Can any one of you guess?
I guess it is to the float value.
If we convert this float value to, integer, we definitely lose the data associated with it after the decimal point 10.5. If we convert it, we lose the data zero point 0.5. But in fact, it won't take such a bad decision of losing of the data. We don't want to lose the data when we do this implicit conversion. This is the rule point kept in Python brain. So your integer will automatically promote it to a float or a double type. So this auto promotion is being done by this way of auto promotion will be done by Python engine, not to lose the data while we are promoting or while we are doing this implicit typecasting or implicit casting. Principle is not to lose data. This is strict principle Python adheres to. Yeah, hope it is clear, guys. That's why here we have got the output 20.5. Yeah, so your any questions? This is implicit typecasting. Concepts are like this only. They seems to be simple things, but behind scenes, this much of stuff is there. This much lengthy stories will happen behind scenes because of programming. Any questions, guys? Please unmute and talk. It is not simple as you learn SQL. Every point what we have been discussing is having its own importance. Yeah, so this is the reason for 20.5 output. If you say, if you force Python engine to use this one, then 20 you do get. You are explicitly typecasting. This is called explicit typecasting. When you are doing this explicit typecasting, it is under Python control. Let me write this statement as well as the first point, just above. So here Python takes decision on behalf of you. But here explicit typecasting, who has to take this? Programmer has to take a decision, or he has the control. In case of explicit typecasting. Yeah. So how you can, or what are different built-in functions that allow us to do so. When you want to convert to a respective type, for example, here in this case, y is of what type, double type or float type. I have explicitly converted to integer type. Then respective type, whatever conversion into which you would like to convert, respective functions are there here. Int for integer conversion. For example, here, for your understanding sake, let us say, see here, 20 only we have lost the precision value hold by y variable. So this is what we have to keep in mind. Always ensure not to lose the data because data is crucial. Anyway, so you can also promote this variable. Sorry, not to float, not int float. We have to promote explicit type conversion. I am a programmer. I am having intelligence. Then this is way explicit type conversion. So how you do? Using the respective type conversion functions. Type conversion functions into which we would like to convert. This is what here explicit type conversion. So where is this quiz? Yes, that is the meaning of 20. Clear? Hope it is clear. What does this code do? Ninth question.
It comes to the first one answer. Assigns 5 to the all three variables.
Is it possible in traditional
No, no, it is
languages?
not possible in
This
traditional
is,
languages like C
yeah,
and
yeah,
Java.
yeah. So what will be the output of the 10th question? X and this one. 10th question. What will be the output of it? Simple and straight. Why you have taken this much time? Python you will get. See, this is X. X is line number 1, assume, is assigned with numeric type, integer value has been assigned. And again you have taken leverage of the same variable and you have assigned a string data type. This is called reassignment. This is assignment statement and reassignment statement. That's all Python. Let's check our answers. Mm, which of the following is a valid Python variable name? Of course. Class is really what? A reserved word or a keyword. That's why this is the one. And next one, a variable names in Python are case sensitive. Yes. Which of the following is not allowed in Python variable names? Digits at the beginning. Yeah. What is Python is equal to true? Type of variable, which is Boolean data type declaration. Python variables must be declared with type int, no need, dynamic type. Which line of code will cause an error? This one, because variable name has been started with digit against Python naming conventions. For a variable, how do you check the type of a variable in Python? Type operator. Next, what will be the output of the code below? Y x plus y, x equal to 10 and then y equal to int of y, then 20 we do get. What does the code do? X equal to assigns same value 5 to all the variables that were part of the assignment statement. What will be the output of it? X equal to 5, then reassignment, then Python will be printed. Yes, all the answers are right. So from next time onwards, guys, I will definitely share these questions, with you folks over WhatsApp group which I have created, and you have to answer so that I do get the responses and I can monitor who has not responded to these questionnaires and who has responded, how many of them are correct, how many of them are wrong. So these kind of insights I do get at my end. So would you like to continue or drop for today? Then I can introduce another concept on Pythons. Operators, you want me to introduce? Please
Yeah,
unmute.
fine with that.
Okay, I'm closing for today. And another question would be, is that fine if you have session daily in the evening 9 p.m. IST? Is it work with Harshit? Work with you and your friend?